Hey, it's Mark here from Make Him Yours, and I'm here with a very special expert today. I've got Laurie Davis Edwards here with me.
Hello.
It's great to have you here. We are talking about 5 steps to trusting your intuition. You know, they talk about a woman's intuition and how it is the most powerful, important thing that you can believe in. And it's amazing how often we lose, and us guys do it too, lose touch with our intuition. So today we're going to talk 5 steps to accessing that. If you don't know who Laurie is, she is amazing. She's got an Amazon best-selling book, Love at First Click. She's been responsible for more than 200 marriages, and that's just her own clients. Been featured on the New York, what was it, Good Morning America, in
New York
Times, all these amazing publications. So Laurie, let's get straight into it. Accessing your intuition. The first thing it's really about is stopping and being present. What's a couple of really good ways? It sounds simple, but this is the very start of just, you've got to come into your body and be present with what you're feeling to know what your intuition's trying to tell you. What's a couple of good ways, if for example, you're on a date or if a guy hasn't texted you back, to just start with the presence?
So if you're on a date, active listening is the best way, which is basically just like rephrasing some of what he's saying and reflecting it back to him so that you know you're really listening.
Yeah, so really processing through it.
Instead of like in your head thinking about it all, right?
Yep.
And if, for example, like you're wondering if he's going to text you back or not and you're by yourself, tuning out any distractions, so like the TV, the scrolling, anything that you're doing to distract yourself, and instead dropping into your body and just meditating for a few minutes.
Getting into that presence.
Yeah.
So once you're in your presence, the second step, and we talked about this a lot before the video, is to actually know what you're feeling.
Yeah.
Can you explain what you mean by that? Because this is super powerful. And I've experienced this with clients too.
Yeah. So there's a difference between our thoughts and our feelings. Oftentimes we project our thoughts as our feelings. We think, well, I feel like...
I feel like he should do something.
Right,
Yeah.
which is like not a feeling, right?
Right.
A feeling is I'm sad, or a feeling is I'm anxious. And so our feelings live in our bodies. And so first we need to like get really clear on what's a thought and what's a feeling. Our feeling is where our intuition comes from. It does not come from our thoughts or our mind.
Yeah.
It comes from our knowing, which is like part of our molecular structure.
And it's important, I don't know if you agree, sometimes a thought, if you're having a negative thought and you're swimming around in your head, that can lead to more disempowering feelings. So you need to clear the thoughts, clear the feelings, and then it's sort of the feelings underneath. It's not the extra ones that come on top.
Which is why like the simple step of being present is so important.
Yeah.
Because like if there's all this clutter, you can't be clear on what you're actually feeling. They're distorted feelings.
Absolutely. If a woman's out there, if you're out there and you're not sure, is this a thought or is this a feeling? Is there a quick test to just be able to tell?
Yeah, you can say it to yourself, because when
I'm
feeling XYZ, and if you're saying like I'm feeling frustrated that he's not texting me back, like, well, that's not really the feeling.
Yeah.
The feeling might be like that you're sad he hasn't texted you back,
Or I'm feeling
right?
angry.
Or anger. Yeah, anger is like a really popular feeling that comes up for a lot of my clients. And when you're, for example, when you're in anger, like you can't be in touch with your intuition, it blocks it. That's a blocking feeling. So understanding like the place that you're coming from in the moment helps you get in touch with your intuition or not.
So the third step is all about listening to your body. How does a client, or how do you out there, go about listening to your body more effectively so you can know what the feeling is and not block it up with thoughts?
Yeah, so our bodies are where all our emotions are. Our emotions are actually molecules in our bodies. That's what they are. That's what emotions are. And so, so listening to our bodies means dropping into our feelings on even deeper level. And when you get quiet and you just like feel sensation, where's that coming up? What is it? Like, is it a bubbling? Is it, what does it actually feel like? And you can even have a conversation with that spot.
And that sort of brings us to step 4, doesn't it? Is sometimes you actually, and I think you and I both do this exercise with our clients, where a client often has to drop in, get to know the feeling, the part of the body that's talking to them, like what's it saying, what's it sound or even look like, and kind of really making that connection. yeah, what would you love to add to that?
I mean, I just love to add that, like, we're made up of lots of different parts. There's like our fear part, there's our intuition part, there's our worthiness part. There's like all these parts. And when you talk to a part of your body, what you're actually doing is talking to a special part of yourself, or like a friend. If we're developing a relationship, right? Then we're getting to know each other. Or if I'm avoiding you, then we're not.
Then we're not.
So like if I
we're not going to be close.
No, so I can let this like intuition part, wherever it comes up, your third eye or your stomach, wherever it is, if we're constantly blocking it, there's no relationship. If we're talking to it, we're getting to know it, then it's developing.
And so you'll actually have a client draw this up, have a conversation with it. Say, what are you telling me? What do I need to hear from you? That sort of thing. Like how can someone at home just watching this apply this right now?
You could, I mean, intuitively you'll know, right? Like you'll know what questions to ask. But for example, you might ask like, what do you need right now? Or what's coming up for you? Or what are you afraid of? Those types of questions can help get
and listen
clear.
to the answers back and get in tune with what your body is telling you.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And then the fifth step is sometimes the hardest, is to action on it. Whatever that feeling has come up, whatever that conversation you've had with that feeling in your body, once you've dropped into your presence, is to be able to action on it. Why is actioning on it so hard sometimes? And what can someone out there do? What can you out there do to better action on your intuition?
So when I work with my clients, the interesting thing that comes up is that most of them actually know.
They know.
And they're not doing it.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the like symptoms you feel, the fear, the anxiety, things like that, it's actually because you're not doing it. So what's in your way to doing it if you can't action upon it? And that's the thing to like look at. And when you start following that is when you get on your own right path.
And you do feel so good about it, don't you? When you start following it, it's just, it takes all this kind of stuff out of your path and it feels like it's flowing. It really does feel like a flow. Laurie, thank you so much for coming in. You've got an awesome program.
I do.
Online. What was the name of that one?
It's called Abundant Love.
Abundant Love. It's a beautiful program. We're going to put the link to that in the description below as well. Do you have any final thoughts before we duck off, Laurie?
Yeah, I mean, your intuition is not just something to use in your relationships either, right? Like we're here talking about relationships, and your intuition is one of your greatest gifts to use in your whole life, in your career and your friendships and literally your whole life. So everything we just taught you, apply everywhere.
Yeah, literally go through the 5 steps, connect with that intuition, action on it, and you're going to live an abundant life, not just in your romantic relationships, but in the rest of your life, as Laurie says as well. Well, Laurie, thank you so much for coming in. I'd love to hear your thoughts. When have you found your intuition, trusted it and acted on it, and how have you felt? Or maybe when have you caught yourself ignoring your intuition and how's that gone? I'd love to hear your story. Share it in the comments section below. Leave any other thoughts down there as well. Questions for Laurie, questions for myself. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up button with the big red subscribe button and the little bell as well. Laurie, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
We're going to do another video. Check it out. It's going to be on the signs that you might be blocking your intuition. That's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll see you in that video and on other videos on the channel very soon.